Hi, and welcome to another Snap Ed segment. I'm Myrna Billings. I am the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program Nutrition Educator for Kansas State Research and Extension, Chisholm Trail District, Marion County. And today I want to talk to you about donating healthy foods to our local food bank. Fall has arrived, the weather's getting colder, the days are getting shorter, and organizations are starting to think about having food drives to donate to our local food banks. And the donations are greatly needed because at this time of COVID, our food banks are seeing an increase of neighbors coming to partake of the food bank. Today we are going to use 3 different handouts. The first one that we're going to use is our Choose My Plate. It comes from the United States Department of Agriculture, and it is an icon to help us to choose healthy foods. The other one we are going to use is a handout also research-based, put out by Kansas State Research and Extension, and it is a trifold that you can stop by the Extension office, get a copy, and hand out to the participants that are going to work at your food drive. This one to my right is one that I like. It's called the Well-Stocked Pantry of Non-Refrigerated Foods. Now this can be used for you at home as well as if you want to donate to the food bank. So let's get started with the My Plate. The My Plate, as you can see, is an icon of a plate. It has the 5 different food groups. We have our fruits, our vegetables, our grains, our proteins, and our dairy. If you notice at the icon, half of the plate is divided in fruits and vegetables. That's to remind us that when we eat a meal, that half of our plate needs to be fruits and vegetables. If you notice on the other half, the grains are a little bit more than a fourth, and the proteins are a little less than a fourth. We are going to start out with the fruits. When we're talking about fruits that are non-perishable, when you're choosing them at the grocery store, we want you to find those that are packed in 100% fruit juice or in water. And again, you're going to have to be a label reader to choose wisely. Also, another item that falls into the food group is 100% juice. Now, when you go to the grocery store, there's all kinds of drinks, aids, punches that you can choose from. But in order to get the nutrients that you need and the vitamins and minerals, you need to make sure that the label always says 100% juice. Otherwise, you're just going to get sugar water with just a portion of the nutrients that you need from that fruit. The next one we want to talk about is the vegetable group. Now this one's kind of interesting because we have beans, and you can get canned beans or dried beans that fall into the vegetable group, but dried beans also fall into the protein group. Now, when choosing beans, again, you want to look for those that are labeled low sodium. The reason for this is because in addition to the USDA putting out the My Plate icon as a reminder, they also have the Dietary Guidelines for Americans. And 3 of those are that I would like to stress today. One is to eat less sugar. Again, we want less sugar to prevent obesity and type 2 diabetes. Another one of the guidelines is to decrease our amount of sodium or salt in our diet. Again, that leads to high blood pressure, can lead to other heart conditions. And the third one is to reduce our intake of saturated fats. That's where you're going to have to become a good label reader. Our next food that we want to look at are the grain foods. When we're talking about the grains, we want to make sure that The grains that you choose are 100% whole grains. Again, time to read your labels. When you are choosing rice, for instance, you want to make sure that the label says 100% whole grain, brown, long grain rice. Otherwise, you are not getting a whole grain. Another choice that you can do in the grain product is now we have pastas that are made from whole wheat. Again, giving you that extra fiber that you need. Also, when choosing cereals, you want to make sure that you choose whole grain there as well. And low salt and sugar. This one is 100 is rice, which is gluten-free product. And if you look on the label, you will notice that the fiber is 2 grams. Not a lot, but your total sugars are only 3 grams. Again, a better choice than some of the sweetened sugars that are on the market today. Another one is whole wheat. This particular label tells you that it has 8 grams of fiber, an excellent choice, and its sugar intake is 0. Again, gotta be a good label reader. Next, we want to talk about the dairy. When you're donating to the food bank, people think dairy, oh, I can't donate anything, it's not shelf stable. But there is a shelf stable, there are 3 types of shelf stable milk that you can choose. One is non-fat dry milk. There's UHB milk, which is shelf stable milk. And then you could also donate evaporated milk. When we come to the protein, that's another area that we need to make sure we read our labels. You can buy canned fish, such as tuna, salmon, mackerel, sardines, but you want to make sure that they are packed in water and not oil, again, to cut down on our saturated fats. Also, on our vegetables, I talked to you about how the beans could be in the protein and in the vegetable group. You can also buy vegetables that are low sodium, or they may say no salt, which this one, or they may say low sodium. So again, you want to read your labels. Now that we've touched on all the areas of the My Plate icon, I want to talk to you about some individual items. For instance, a lot of people that go to the food banks may have dietary restrictions. They may be diabetic, they might have a gluten intolerance. You can read the labels. This one is for sugar-free. This one is gluten-free. So again, you want to make sure you read your labels and choose wisely. In addition to that, sometimes we have individuals that may have limited access to certain items in their kitchen. For instance, they may not have a can opener, may not have access to a microwave. So again, you need to choose wisely. Ways that you can do that is by picking items that have pull tabs. You can purchase ready-to-eat items. For instance, this is a can of chili, and it works out several ways. First of all, it has a pull tab, so if a person has limited access, and also it has less sodium. So all the person has to do is heat this up and it's ready to go, and it's a healthier version than a different type of canned chili. Also, if you're choosing spaghetti sauce or pasta sauce, you can choose the lower sodium versions. So I want to thank you for coming by for another Snap Ed moment. I want to encourage you to call your local extension office to see if there's a SNAP Ed class that you may qualify for. If you are a SNAP Ed recipient, low income, receive government assistance, or have been recently furloughed or laid off, please contact our office for a SNAP Ed class near you.